my channel. So today we're doing a little fun project. I want to use this canvas and make a little coin purse. So this is a mock-up I made. I got the design on YouTube actually. A lot of people make this one because it's one piece. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, not wider, but deeper on the canvas. But this was just an A4 piece of paper. And you only need to sew a couple of little things. So I thought that would be perfect. And you end up with three openings to put something in and a flap. So what we're going to be using is this old canvas. It's been laying around for ages. So it's time to do something fun with it. I've got a lot of stuff laying around here. I'm not sure if I'm going to need everything, but I got some thick thread, some needles, dumbbell. I wanted to use this little push closer. I don't know how you call it in English, but we say a drukknop. Then I've got a sharp knife, extra needle with a handle. So if I need to, I can make the holes a little bit easier because I do have some issues with my hands. A roller to get nice folds in the canvas. I used to do a lot of leather crafting, so that's why I have a lot of these tools. Just a cap so I can make nice round corners and a cutting mat. I think that's about it. I think that's everything we're gonna need. So first we need to get the canvas off of the frame, and because I'm only going to be using the top and not the sides, because there's already a crease in here, I'm just gonna cut it right at the sides. So I actually found out something last week that I didn't know. I always struggle to get the blades out of the box, and I found out that there's a magnet on the bottom of the knife handle. Okay, so let's just cut it at the sides. Trying to do a nice job. These are just the cheap frames. That's actually also why I'm using this little piece, because I'm not sure if it's going to work out, if I'm going to be able to make the coin purse out of it. But this canvas is really nice and thin, so I think it should work. So let's cut the corners. Let's see if it wants to come off. So that's one. Let's do the others. So here it is. The back side is nice and clean. That's also one of the reasons I want to use this one. So now we're going to be putting down the design, and I want to have the flap be on this side. So I'm going to turn it around, and we're going to be putting on the design like so. So what you need to do is you need to have 3 equal parts on the width, because that's going to be connecting. And then you want at least these two to be the same size. I don't mind if this is going to be a little bit shorter, because I prefer to have a little bit more depth in my pockets. So let's see how big we can go. We're going to be using this part, and we're not using these. So I'm going to round these corners, put it in the corner like so, and draw around it. And so you get nice rounded corners. And I'm going to put it on my cutting mat and just cutting down the sides where I marked it. Being careful, it's a very sharp blade. So let's do that for the other 4 sides. So we've got all 4 sides done, and now we're going to remove these 2 pieces by just cutting them out like so. And I think it's going to be easier to use a pair of scissors to round the corners. So now we've got our shape. This is what it looks like on the other side. So now we need to make a nice clean fold. And I think I'm going to just put my ruler down and just bend it. Unfortunately, paint is snapping. I was already scared that would happen because it is acrylic, but it's very, very thin. Yeah, I think we need to use another piece. This was just too thin, unfortunately. So we all remember what happened yesterday. The paint cracked while I was bending my canvas. So I thought, let's just try some different things. So I got 2 pieces I had left over from my design, so the pieces that were here. And what I did is, on this one I put a layer of gloss varnish, and on this one I put some PVA glue. Let them fully dry, and then I tried bending them. So this is with the varnish. It does bend, but again, it cracks. So then the PVA glue bends, but doesn't crack. So I took another canvas and I applied some PVA glue, and I applied it when it was in the frame, because otherwise it will warp like this. This was just an extra piece I tested out and added a little bit more PVA glue just to show you what happens. So if you're doing this, make sure it's still on the frame. I used the same template. I cut it out and I folded it to where I left off with the other piece. I did also add some paint, some latex paint on the inside, just because I didn't like the bare canvas. So now we're going to be able to move forward and start sewing. So what we have to do is we have to sew here, so these two get fixed on this line. I think I want to just clip them down with some clips so they don't move. And then carefully start sewing by hand. I'm going to be just using some thread I got, a nice color of blue, and a normal needle. But let's go and sew down this line. So I've got the first seam done. So now we're going to be doing the next part. So we're going to just flatten down this seam, and then we're going to be folding it like so. Because the next thing we need to do is we need to sew these 2 seams together. So I'm going to just pin it, and I'm going to poke some holes with my awl, and then I'll stitch it together, and I will be using a little bit of a different stitch. So I just made a little beginning just to secure my thread. So what I want to do is I'm just going to go through the loop and then pull, and then you get these stitches that will have the loop over top, just a little bit extra to finish it off. So I'll be doing that for this side and the other side as well. So I've got the 2 sides sewn, so that's the one side and the other. Let me just show you, this is what the inside now is looking like. So it has 3 compartments, 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna fold the flap over, and I'm gonna just pin it in place for now, like so. And now we want to add our little button. So I need to find the center of this width, and then we'll have to push this little pin through. So I'm probably just gonna poke it with a knife, and then we'll have to use one of the pliers to get this one on the other side. I hope it works because I only have one. So first let's get the center. So this is 10 centimeters or about 4 inches. So that's about the center. And I'm probably just gonna push and see if I can get a little bit of an indentation. I might even be able to push it through pretty sharp. And now you have to put the other part, and you have to be careful not to put the wrong part and the wrong side, because this will have to snap into that part. And you have this hollow where these little points will go in, and to push them together. So I've got these special pliers. So one side is rounded and the other one has a little hole in it. So I should be able to put this on this side. Just gonna try and push it on here. So I have to really get the rounded side over the nice button. Push. I think it's in. It looks like it's nice and flush on this side. Could use a little bit more on this side, but we have to find the other side. And I think I want to leave a little bit of room, so not do it too tight. So leave a little bit of room here. So if you put anything in it, it won't, it will still close. So I think that will be about here. So it's about 3.2 centimeters. So I've got the center, and then we want about 3.2. So I think that's going to be the spot. That's where this part is going on that spot. Try and get that cross in the middle. So I'm probably just gonna try and push it through from this side. Let's poke these with the needle. And then I'm gonna try and put it in from the inside. You can see the holes. Now you just have to line it up. It's there, it's coming. Let's push it down. So now we need the other little plier. It has a hole in here and the little nib goes on there. And then we have to get it to that spot. I'm going to try and do this, get it on. And then my camera died. Should have plugged it in. So I got it in. The ring is on the inside. The nib is on the outside. And let's see if we can get it to close. And it closes. So this was the design. Pretty simple. Go from this to this. So it opens, it closes. It says 3 compartments and they're closed on the underside because of the design. So nothing will fall out. There's no way you can lose anything from the sides. I'm pretty happy it actually worked out in the end. I really love this design as well. This was I think a 4 ring pour with a swirl. It's really cool looking. I'm really excited I figured out how to not let it crack. If you use a different kind of paint, a better brand than the paints I was using, because these are really cheap craft paints and were mostly also matte. So if you have a shiny paint, it will also be more flexible. But yeah, it worked out. It looks really nice. So I'm really interested to know what your thoughts are. So thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one. Bye everyone!